You ready for Saturday and your first game?
Man, I'm getting so excited. Like you were saying, the Rose Bowl. You know, coming out, you know, experiencing that atmosphere. You know, I'm so excited. You know, Coach Kelly does a great job of keeping everybody, you know, up in practice and stuff like that. But you kind of get that itch, you know, you've been waiting for to, you know, be able to try to, you know, hurdle somebody, run over somebody, something like that. So it's definitely, you know, super exciting. I can't wait for Saturday.
Are you into, like, you know, visualizing stuff ahead of time and thinking about what it's going to be like out there?
Definitely. Yeah, you know, being able to, you know, the night before you're sleeping, trying to, you know, kind of, if you imagine, you know, you're going to do good, you know, there's kind of that thought that you know, you'll play good. You know, if you kind of imagine you're doing bad, you know, it's not going to be too good. So I always try to think positive, you know, especially, you know, being able to, you know, go over my playbook, stuff like that, see the little reads and everything. So,
you have any pre-game routines or things that you just kind of?
I have a few. There's nothing super crazy. I am a little superstitious though. I do everything from right to left. I don't know why on game day. So I'll put like my socks on my right foot first, tape right foot, stuff like that. But other than that, once I kind of get out onto the field in games, my nerves kind of go down a little bit. So, but before game, I'm kind of, you know, all over the place.
Do you have a tendency to run to the right?
No, I don't know why. I'm left-handed. That's the weirdest thing too.
Okay.
I'm left, so I don't know why right to left. But yeah, that's one of my superstitions. But once I get out on the field, you know, everything kind of settles in. So.
Speaking of settling in, you said earlier it's hard learning this new playbook. Has your comfort level risen the more longer you've been in the offense?
Definitely. Like you were saying, this playbook, it's one of a kind, and you know, I love it. You know, being able to, you know, be so optional in everything that we do. And Coach Kelly, he always talks about how you know, you'll see a cat crossing the road, you know, but sometimes they don't think that well and they're kind of hesitant, and that's when, you know, bad things happen. So you gotta, you know, be able to, you know, take the play and go. And that was kind of my motto throughout spring ball, especially in the fall camp. You know, you got to learn all the plays through spring. That's when you kind of had your mistakes and stuff like that. But then, you know, fall camp came around and that's when you had to, you know, get the play and go. So that was kind of my motto and kind of took it from there.
Your dad said the family's coming out, so who's home with Crocky?
I don't know. Grandma and everybody's coming out, so he might be on his own. So that's, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yeah. Definitely need to lock up the other animals. So.
Do you think anybody will have the game on TV and he'll see you?
I hope so. No, there'll definitely be one family member that stays back and watches him back. But no, definitely super excited to have the family come out, and you know, especially family back home too, being able to watch that. So.
Yeah, the announcement that Ethan's starting. Obviously, your roommate's in the mix there, getting to play. I mean, did you have any conversations with Colin throughout camp? You know, how he was thinking about the competition, or was he not thinking about it? You know, just off the field.
Definitely, and that was kind of one thing we talked about. You know, those dudes can't get down on themselves because every single one of them has worked throughout both the camps, both spring camp and fall camp. You know, so. Whoever Coach Kelly puts in, you know, kind of deserves it. And as you see, Saturday, all three of them are going in. So, you know, it's kind of a, you know, standing point to see who, you know, might carry on the next couple of games from that point. But, you know, just being able to talk to him and, you know, kind of see it's like, hey, you guys are all, you know, letting it rip. You know, they're running, stuff like that. I mean, they can do it all. So, you know, that's kind of why we haven't really had a true, you know, pick to see who it is. And everybody's still, you know, getting the playbook to exact. So, you know, being able to watch all three of them go out there and play, it's actually a really cool thing.
You've had kind of a close-up view of this entire competition. Does it feel right for it to be kind of playing out on the field in an actual game to see who's
definitely. And you know, being a football player, you know, you kind of look at things. I would say people on the outside would be like, man, 3 quarterbacks going into one game is one of the craziest things I've heard. But you know, if you look at it from a player standpoint, all these dudes have put in so much work, and you know, you can see that, you know, each one of them has their own, you know, ability to do something, and they're, you know, they all know the playbook, stuff like that. But being able to watch them all compete together, you know, there's no doubt in your mind as a player that all three of them shouldn't be out there playing. So we're just going to kind of see, like you guys were saying, how, you know, the games play on and kind of see who goes from there.
What's just been like the general vibe of practice this week?
You know, everybody's excited. Everybody's kind of hitting a little bit more when we shouldn't be able to. But, you know, coming out here, you know, it's game week. Like everybody was saying, Rose Bowl. You know, it's a different atmosphere for me. So I'm super jacked up, especially coming in, you know, kind of first-year guy watching, you know, all the team. You know, just the way we practice, too. It's fast. Everything's so fast. And, you've been practicing. I remember all in the summertime you were running, sweating. You didn't know why you were out here really, but it's all come down to this week, and so to get that that first win.
What do you think we'll see from the running backs on Saturday?
It's definitely going to be a little bit of everything. So definitely try to get the most reps we can for all guys, kind of get rotation going, stuff like that, keeping us fresh. That was another big thing as well, kind of seeing where everybody fits in and stuff like that. So
Chip was saying how he doesn't subscribe to like the gamer concept, but have you ever found yourself doing something like unexpected in a game or something you didn't think you were capable of?
I would say there's been times that's happened like that, and I feel like everybody kind of gets that one shot where they kind of do something that they didn't really expect them to do. But I take to heart a real big thing that Coach Kelly says. You don't rise to the occasion on a game day. You kind of sink to your level of training. So if you're going to have a bad week of training, you're going to sink to that level of competition on Saturday, and your opponent might be better than that competition. So if you're grinding all week, playing, hard, fast, physical, having a great, kind of rising occasion through practice, and that's kind of what's going to, amount to the game.
7:30 kickoff. So do you have like a evening game schedule? Do you nap during the day?
Well, the time difference kind of threw me off a little bit when I came here, but I think I'm good now. That was kind of my one big thing. Try not to, try to make sure you get your full 8-9 hours on game or night before the game. And man, after that first wake up, there's no going back to sleep. You're up, jittery and stuff like that, getting ready to go. So.
As someone who came from a smaller program, is it maybe easier for you to keep the focus, the intensity up for an opponent that maybe isn't as nationally known as, a UCLA brand or something like that?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And, honestly, for me, just like last year, we played some bigger schools and stuff like that. For me personally, it's kind of that one game mentality. You kind of don't look to the next games. You gotta win this first game, win that first opponent. So whoever it may be we line up against, they've been training all summer too, stuff like that. So you gotta, kind of take that into a factor and realize, these guys have been grinding out too, and we're gonna see who shows up Saturday. So.
What have you seen out of Coastal Carolina's defense?
There's some good dudes. They got some new transfers too. They're going to be playing too. But that front line is kind of their big spot, and their linebackers as well. And everybody in that secondary, tackles good as well. So you just got to make sure we are making the right reads, stuff like that on blitzes and coverages, and make sure we're making guys miss and running hard. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We were talking to Dante. I guess it was yesterday. He said that he singled you out as somebody who's really helped him. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about your relationship with him, how you've gone about that, and also the growth you've seen in him?
Dante has been great. He's a very outgoing kid. I think I mentioned that before in one of these, but it's easy to have a good relationship with him. He wants to learn, he wants to improve, and me being like the older guy, just kind of teaching him little things, things I notice, maybe he can correct, I'll tell him, So just his ability to want to learn and me wanting to teach, I think that's why our relationship has been so good.
What's it, when you're snapping the ball, you're going to snap to 3 quarterbacks on Saturday. Is there a different cadence or anything different when you snap to a different quarterback, or is it the exact same thing?
It's the exact same thing. Like, we get enough reps in practice with all 3 quarterbacks. I kind of know like their different voices and the way it feels under center and things like that. So if I know who I'm rolling with, then I think we'll be in good shape.
Dante was also kind of observant of your friendship with Josh Carlin.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship with him like?
It's been me and Josh since the beginning, really. We both got here, played offensive line as freshmen, so he's really been the guy that's been in the room with me for going on my 5th year now, and he's kind of understood the process and what it takes to kind of be successful, I guess, at college football. So it's just been good to talk to him, like, on our intellectual level as well, just like going over plays, things about life, college. Like, we kind of came up together, so that's kind of been my buddy and my guy that I can talk to and things like that about anything.
Dante also said that you kind of pulled him aside and said, like, I got you. Is that a kind of conversation that you have with like all of the quarterbacks? Like, what's the different connections you have?
I'd say with all the quarterbacks I have a pretty good connection, but Dante being a young guy, I've been there, so I kind of know what's going on, and him being Dante Moore, it's kind of, got to hone down on him a little bit more, just play football, stick to the process, and just knowing that him knowing that I have trust in him is it's huge, especially on a team. You got to believe in your brothers, and I like to preach that I believe in him. Yeah.
This quarterback competition is getting all the attention, but we know there are 3 open spots in the offensive line. How's that competition gone? How are you feeling comfort-wise with the 5 guys you're going to go out there on Saturday?
I think Coach Drever's been doing a good job, like rotating guys in. I'd say we have a good, solid 8-9 guys that can really play on this team, and I don't think we'll skip a beat with any different mix and match of that rotation goes on. Everyone's ready, and everyone knows everyone wants to be gets that starting job. You know what I mean? So whoever it is, they'll be ready for it, and I'm not worried at all about who our starting 5 is going to be.
You've been here as long as anybody. I know Coach Kelly has a different relationship with the players than obviously does with the media. With us, he's been, I guess a good way to put it is a little more chipper this fall camp.
Yeah.
Has he seemed any different to you? Does he seem maybe a little more lighthearted, or same guys always?
Definitely the same guy as always, but I definitely noticed maybe a little bit more joking around going on, a little more comfortable, I guess, with especially me being here for as long as I have. I can definitely see his personality come out when he has conversations with me or any of the older guys on the team. So it's been nice to see that on that side of Chip. Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's a reflection of he thinks, you guys are in a good place as a team and you're ready to roll?
I think so. I think he can really trust us, trust the leaders on this team to get the job done. So I think we kind of taking that aspect out of his hands, I guess. It's more player-led than coach-fed, as we like to say. So, yeah, definitely comes with more trust from his players.
We just talked to Carson, who's super excited, also kind of nervous. Is there anything you say or do around kind of newer players to help them stay level-headed ahead of the first game?
If I notice something, then yeah, I'll probably step in and do something. But Carson, he's been rock solid throughout this whole camp. He's been playing what he is. He's a great player, great running back, and I'm not too worried about how he's going to do this year and this season. So for him, yeah, he's just a rock solid dude, and I think he's going to have a great season for us this year.
How can you tell if someone's nervous? What do you notice about players that kind of
just it's not really flowing for them, I guess you could say. They're kind of still we like to say analysis by paralysis. When you try to overthink things, you can kind of notice them kind of playing slow. And the biggest thing, Coach Kelly always preaches, is that if you know your playbook, then you play faster, right? If you know exactly where you're going, you don't need to be thinking about, do I have this guy? Do I have this guy? So just that, it's just seeing the guys that put in the time and the work for the playbook and running the plays that you can tell, they're ready for it because how fast they play.
Do you still get nervous before games?
Oh yeah, of course. Definitely get nervous. Actually, it's probably harder now because I feel like there's more eyes on the team looking at me. And so I got to kind of be the example on how to do things and how to prepare for a game. But it's been a fun role to play this year.
How do you respond to that? Do you do more routine-based stuff before games to kind of just get in a comfort zone?
It's more it's a routine. Just making sure I hit all my steps. Can't skip anything because you never know who's watching. We had a lift today in the weight room. You never want to take any reps off. You know what I mean? It's always give everything you got, do what the coaches say, and that just lead by example, really.
I think it's fair to say you guys are a little bit under the radar, not nationally ranked. Everybody's talking about SC and the returning Heisman quarterback. I feel like maybe you guys are going to open some eyes on Saturday, perceptions about this team?
I definitely think so. We're a really good team this year, but we don't really pay too much focus into that, I guess. If they want to talk and not really recognize how good we are, then let them. We'll just show it on Saturday.
A little while back, UCLA announced that fundraiser for Maui relief efforts. Did the players have any say in, some of the organizations? Obviously, you're from the area.
Yeah. We just did a little video to kind of spread the awareness, I guess. And I've seen all those links to all the different funds and stuff like that, and I trust every single one of them. So those are good to donate to for sure.
What's been just the general vibe at practice this week?
Just excitement, really. Just ready to hit somebody else other than your teammate for sure. Yeah.
We got is that JJ Molson there that we're looking at?
Yeah, it's JJ.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.